Where is Red and why is he missing? Jack Simmons disappeared back in 1994 and hasn't been seen since, leaving his apartment in Salt Lake County.
For every crime, there's a story and the truth matters. Here's ABC4 senior crime and punishment correspondent Marcos Ortiz with tonight's Justice Files.
There's a new development in the case involving Jack Jason Simmons, who disappeared in 1994. It's listed as a missing persons case, but now it might be considered an unsolved murder.
We had kind of an odd a brother relationship. We didn't talk much.
But 26 years after the disappearance of Jack Jason Simmons, his older brother wishes he could meet with him again. Back in 1994, he's known as Red on the streets of Salt Lake County. He'd been in Salt Lake for nearly 6 years when his father from Colorado pays him a visit.
His roommate said that last he saw him, he'd grabbed his ghetto blaster and headed to lump trucks, unload trucks.
His roommate tells Simmons' father that he's surprised he'd gone to work because he'd been hit with a hammer.
Somebody assaulted him about a week before that with a hammer. So he was in the hospital, and I guess he didn't know who he was for a couple of weeks.
A month later, there's a warrant for Simmons' arrest. He fails to show up in court on drug charges.
My little brother was involved heavily in drugs, cocaine and methamphetamines.
Weeks later, his parents file a missing persons case, but police tell them that he's an adult and there's no search for the red-headed 24-year-old.
My mom was able to contact the hospital and get the medical records of him being assaulted and with a hammer a couple of weeks prior. So he was actually listed as a missing endangered person at that time.
Simmons' mother takes it upon herself to search for him. She walks the streets, showing his picture, visits homeless shelters in hopes someone knows Simmons.
Now, my mom was, and still is, this is a very hard topic for my mom to deal with. Went years and years of course, every time the phone rang, hoping that it was my little brother.
In 2018, a private investigator takes on the case, and the Simmons family's grateful that someone hasn't forgotten Red. And within months, there's a tip.
And he ironically come up with somebody that told him where my little brother was probably buried at.
The search now focuses on a campground in Box Elder County. Tomorrow night, the private investigator and cadaver dogs takes us to the scene. For the Justice Files, Marcos Ortiz, ABC4 News.